Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, Senator Curt VanderWall, and another good week. We've made some progress getting part of the state back open, working on trying to get the rest of the state opened up. You know, Sunday morning, grab a cup of coffee and kind of nestle in and enjoy a church service with your family. But today is a little bit different Sunday. I want to kind of go off in a little bit different direction here today, and I want to talk a little bit about a story of in the Bible, David and Goliath. And you know, David was a sheep herder, and he was the youngest of the brothers, and so he was one that was actually put out into the field to look over the sheep. And his brothers were actually serving in the army, the Israeli army, the Israelites. And so the story kind of picks up that, you know, Dad wanted him to bring some food to his brothers. So David gets up and early one morning and takes off to go to where the armies are preparing to potentially fight the Philistines. So with that, I just want to throw a couple pieces of scripture in, and then we'll kind of, you know, tell a little bit of the story. If we go to 1 Samuel 17, verse 20. So David rose early in the morning, left the sheep with a keeper, and took the things and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the camp as the army was going out to fight and shouting for the battle. For the Israeli and the Philistines had drawn up in battle array, army against army. David gets there, he's a little late. They're preparing to go to battle. And as the story progresses, David runs up, sees his brothers, talks to his brothers. His brothers say, you know, move on, you know, we're getting ready to go to battle. And then this giant of a man came out called Goliath. Goliath was about 9 foot tall. So he was a gigantic man, all in his battle gear and his armor, and he was scary. I can only imagine he had a powerful voice that shook you as you talked, and of course, or you listened to him, and of course, somebody that's 9 foot tall is gonna scare you. So anyways, David goes up there, meets his brothers kind of get after him, and then we pick up the story, verse 37. It says, moreover, David said, the Lord who has delivered me from the paw of a lion and from the paw of the bear, he will deliver me from the hands of the Philistines. And Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with you. Saul clothed David with his armor, and he put a bronze helmet on his head. He also clothed him with a coat of mail. David fastened his sword to his armor and tried to walk, for he had not tested them. And David said to him, Saul, I cannot walk with these, for I have not tested them. So David took them off, puts on all this battle armor. He's a young boy now, from the best we can tell, about 14 years old. So he puts all this armor on, and as you read in there, it says it weighed 5,000 shekels. Now, what is 5,000 shekels? I'm going to say it's many, many pounds. And for a young person to try to put on a coat of armor like that, it was very heavy, and of course very big because it was built for an adult. So David decides, all right, I can't do this. I'm not going to carry a sword. I'm not wearing a helmet. I'm just going to go out there as David. And so we pick up the story, and then I'll finish with what I wanted to say. Then he took off his staff in his hand, and he chose it for himself 5 smooth stones from the brook, and put them in the shepherd's bag, in a pouch which he had, and his sling was in his other hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. So the Philistine came and began drawing near David, and the man who bore the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was only a youth, ruddy, but good looking. So the Philistine said to David, "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, "Come to me, and I will give you your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." Then David said to the Philistine, "You come to me with sword, with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts and the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you and take your head from you. And this day I will give the carcass to the camp of the Philistines, to the birds of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all this earth may know that there is a God, is Israel." As I said before, David was a sheep herder, but David had to look over the sheep. So he had structured, in the old days, a sling. And that sling kind of looks like our face masks today, but it had strings on both sides, and it would cup a stone about the size of a golf ball. And what they would do is they would whip it around, and then they would release, and off the rock would go. Now David had done that with animals that would try to take the sheep, and he would use that sling and he would strike the animal and either kill the animal if he was a good target or a good shot, or the animal would get hurt and it would drop the sheep that was in the mouth. So anyways, David goes. Goliath teases him, ridicules him. So David stands there, he places the stone in the sling, and he whips it. And it strikes Goliath straight in the forehead and knocks him out. Now, of course, David at that time runs, makes sure that the giant Goliath is truly perished, and he yells back to the Philistines, who of course at that point in time run because they're scared. And the Israeli army wins. So why do I bring this story up? Well, it is Memorial Day. And I want to say this is a little bit about what has happened with our great country over years and years. And we've had so many people that have served our country, men and women that have given their life so that I have the opportunity to do what I do today. But we all have the opportunity to truly live in a nation that is free. We can choose to do a lot of things, and during these times some of those things have been threatened a little bit, and you know, folks have been a little bit nervous. But you know what, I just want to say thank you to all those that have served our country, served this state, for those that currently are serving, those that are protecting us. I just want to say thank you to all the men and women, the families that have sacrificed because their loved one is serving our country to give us these freedoms. Thank you for allowing me to serve. Thank you for allowing my friends in the legislative body to serve. I just want to say again, on this Sunday, enjoy a service, enjoy your opportunity to spend time with your family, but most of all, let's remember those that have sacrificed so much to give us the freedoms that we take for granted sometimes, and we shouldn't. Again, thank you for the chance to serve you. I hope you have a great holiday weekend, and I look forward to talking to you again soon, and making sure that you know, we continue to work hard to kick this COVID-19 to the curb. So thanks again. All of you have a great holiday. Bye-bye.